This is big breaking emergency news. We are now seeing outbreaks spreading throughout the United States, and we are seeing quarantines being announced right now for certain people and certain places. This is happening right now. They're quarantining people in buildings because of this outbreak that is happening at multiple different migrant camps. All right, so this is happening inside the United States. It's spreading, and this is linked to our open U.S. southern border. All right, these illnesses are directly coming across the border, and now we're seeing outbreaks inside of these, quote, migrant shelters inside major cities in the U.S. And people are being kept in these locations and not allowed to leave until they undergo these medical procedures that they're mandating now for certain groups, certain areas, certain regions. They are now doing this because there are outbreaks at these migrant shelters, right? So this is happening in our country right now. This is a major warning. We're also seeing other outbreaks in Central and South America, like in Brazil and Peru. They both just declared a state of emergency over this dingy fever that is spread by mosquitoes and could eventually work its way up into the United States. Right, just declared an emergency for that, and we are seeing major migrations coming from these countries. Brazil and Peru and the surrounding countries as well are dealing with the same exact outbreak. All right, so things are happening, and we are potentially seeing things cross our U.S. southern border, illnesses and diseases that weren't here before, and people are not being even vetted or properly vetted or anything for this, right? There's more vetting for your kid or your grandkid to go to school. They have to show more medical records and proof and have to be more up to date on things than you have to be to come into our country and move into our major cities, right? And now we're seeing outbreaks. So let's dive into this news here really quick, guys. Hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos every single day, keeping you guys updated on this big news here. Let's dive into this here. We are seeing a outbreak of measles in Chicago, and we are seeing this at multiple different migrant shelters inside of Chicago, and they're telling people that they are not allowed to leave these areas unless they undergo specific medical procedures. I want you to listen to what was reported by Fox News, Fox 32 Chicago, right? This was a report that they just put out 2 days ago.
Well, health officials detecting a second case of measles right here in Chicago, and it is traced to a migrant shelter in Pilsen. Fox 32's Joni Lum reports medical teams were sent to determine if this disease has spread.
Two measles cases on two sides of the city. Health officials identified one is a child living at a shelter in Pilsen for new arrivals. Health officials are there to vaccinate the other residents. There was a police presence outside the shelter at Halsted and Cermak. Residents are not allowed to leave unless they are vaccinated for measles as health teams investigate. 25th Ward Alderman Byron Sigcho Lopez said in a statement that he visited the shelter Tuesday. 1,876 people live there, including 95 toddlers between the ages of 1 and 2. The first case of measles was on the north side. A patient rode the CTA's number 92 Foster Avenue bus to Swedish Hospital the morning of February 27th. In both cases, the patients are recovering. Doctors are on alert because measles is highly contagious for the unvaccinated.
All right, so you heard that there. That was Fox 32 Chicago. And one key point is they are telling people that they are not allowed to leave these shelters where these outbreaks are happening unless they're up to date on their measles requirements, that they want them to get their measles medical procedures. You know what I'm talking about. They said it right there in the video. And they are saying you're not allowed to leave unless you're up to date. And they're saying that it's highly contagious and people need to get this. All right, so we could see this could potentially turn into a bigger situation. Let's hope not. All right, but when we have our U.S. southern border wide open like this, it's a national security risk, it's a health risk, it's a economic risk, it's a personal risk, it's a cultural risk. Every single thing is at risk right now in our country. And there's nothing stopping it. Nobody's stopping it. Okay? And this could happen to the general public as well. This is happening to the quote migrants right now. But this could also happen to the general public, where we see an outbreak and people are forced to have these up-to-date procedures to be able to leave. So we could see lockdowns, we could see shutdowns if this spreads, and the border's wide open at the same time. We're supposed to be worried about this. We're supposed to be worried about our public health. That's what they've told us for years now, but then not in this aspect. The doors, the floodgates are wide open, and we're actually seeing spikes in these rare diseases all over the country. So you guys need to be thinking about this. If this spreads, we've seen all the talk about things like disease X and all these different talks about these treaties and these programs. All right, I've covered them extensively on here, and we know that these things are in the background still, and they are implementing them, and they are signing them, and they are working on them. And this is why you need to be getting ready. You need to be getting prepared, because supply chains could shut down, business could shut down, there could be lockdowns, there could be quarantines. Not saying there's going to be, but it's possible. We've seen these things happen in our country before, and you need to be as sustainable as possible and as removed as possible from this grid and this supply chain, because they were able to shut everything down, lock everything down. There were major shortages. Okay, I don't know if you remember how bad it was sometimes going to the store and the gaps in the store, just shortages everywhere. All right, we could see that even worse. And we could see hyperinflation hit even harder if things are locked down, and they have to fire up the money printer, turn it up to 1,000. All right, it was already at 100. They need to turn it up even higher. We could see things really get out of control. All right, so this is what we're working on. We're on our homestead here. All right, we're getting prepared. Let me give you guys a quick chick update. All right, we have a bunch of chickens. We're growing our garden. We're working all the stuff. We're building coops out here. All right, let me show you guys really quick. Give you a quick chick update. All right. This is what we're working on. So if it ever hits the fan, we can still get eggs. We can still get meat. We can hatch out eggs. We have roosters. We have hens. We can hatch out eggs, have our own meat birds. Okay. We have a garden going. I've fed my chickens for a month straight off straight tomatoes before. All right. There's only a few of them, but it was at the end of our tomato season where the plants were just getting nasty. It was raining every day, getting swampy, but they were still putting out a ton of tomatoes, and we were just feeding them all to the chickens for like a month straight. Okay, and they did fine. They just ate straight tomatoes and stuff in the grass. Chickens can eat almost anything. They can convert junk, garbage, waste into protein for you. So can goats. So can rabbits. Rabbits can convert grass into protein for you on a small scale. Get these systems set up now. Get yourself prepared now before it's too late. All right, because they are getting us ready for something big. So thank you guys. I hope you have big blessings for your life, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.